Yeah, dog. Welcome to R2R Wreck to Riches YouTube channel. Don't forget, guys, pound that like button, drop a comment, and always remember, I'm not a financial advisor. For damn sure not a professional. This is cryptocurrency. Don't ever allow an influencer on any social media platform out there to influence you when it comes to cryptocurrency, because you could get wrecked. You could lose it all. Don't forget to subscribe. Now that we got that out of the way, we're going to do a review on Unity. I'm over here at unity.win. I'll put the link in the description of the YouTube video for you guys to check out. If you guys are familiar with the founder of Taurus or have used the Taurus Dapp over on Ethereum, I have plenty of content on that over on the Ethereum side that supports the TitanX ecosystem. That's going to really help you get a better understanding of Unity. To get even a deeper understanding, I got a members only channel on YouTube, links in the description. Price of a Cambodian coffee, $2.99 a month, where this is a part of my weekly content in DeFi, where I talk about Taurus. If you guys are not familiar, you can go to taurus.win or check out some of my YouTube videos that are public, and definitely in the members only section as well. So Taurus is on Ethereum, supports the build on TitanX ecosystem, supports TitanX. We have Unity, right? This is going to be for PulseChain. All right. There is, I see the exact similarities between the two. Same, concept, same ideas. So that's why I recommend go checking out the video content that I have on Taurus. That way you could be more familiar with how to use the DApp. So when Unity goes live, you're ready to go. Because the update in the Telegram is Unity update. In just 16 hours, Unity will officially enter a 3-day period where Unity.win can go live at any moment on Pulse, right? So when Unity goes live, there's 4 main channels, including this account they talk about. I'll put the link in the description to go to their Telegram, right? And it's going to list, everything that you need to know. That way you're not communicating with the wrong accounts, the wrong contract addresses or links or anything like that. I'll put all the correct information to join the Telegram and directly to the website here. So we're going to read the white paper. As you can see here, we have like the same layout here as Taurus over on Unity. Buy, burn, and build. Right, 90% of all the economic energy that enters Unity is based to both buy and burn Unity from supply and to increase liquidity, providing users with seamless movement in or out of Unity. All right, there's the pool, but let's read the white paper. Right, like I said, I want to review this as quickly as possible to get to the main features. So what's Unity? It's a system on PulseChain that's going to combine the best of crypto innovations. It's going to help users grow their portfolio. And while doing that, right, how this works is when price rises and once you create your Unity tokens to compound your holdings quickly, earning a base amount plus rewards from the Unity pool. So when the price dips, stake your Unity to keep growing your portfolio from the same pool. Why Unity? It's the first system to optimize your portfolio building in any market with immutable code built on and burning PulseX. So that's the key thing for PulseChain and why it could be big. It's going to burn PulseX, baby. And a lot of you guys that are, core token maxis, even if you're not a core token maxi, but you love the altcoins, but ultimately you love PulseChain, you love PulseX, making PulseX token scarce is huge, and it's going to be very unique, and it's going to be the first DApp of its kind on PulseChain to burn PulseX outside of anything built and designed by Richard Hart, like pump tires and what it does for burning Pulse and how it utilizes PulseX through trading to burn PulseX token. So this could get a lot of people excited. So the mission's simple, guys, right? Welcome to the age of Unity, where the token is creation simple, secure, and perpetual. Overview is, you're going to be able to create and stake identical to Torres, right? You're going to use your PulseX or Pulse to generate Unity tokens up front, the principal, right? And you'll earn additional tokens from the Unity pool over the course of 88 days, where I demonstrate that on camera with Torres, creating between 1 to 88 days. I always do 88-day max creations, all right? Then you got the stake mechanics. Lock your Unity tokens. You get with the 5% fee, right? So when you lock your Unity tokens with the 5% fee in Pulse or PulseX or Pulse, to compete for pool rewards over 88 days. So these two mechanics here, these ways of generating more Unity, right, are going to be both competing for shares. So for you T-share people out there in Hex, for you Torres people, you guys know that T-shares, Torres shares, is the share position, and the more shares you have, the more Unity you would earn. But in the case of Torres, the more Torres shares you have is your position to earn more on the daily pool. Out of that reward, right, the more shares you have, the more that you'll earn. If I have more shares than you, I earn more from the Unity pool daily by default, right? So choosing create when its ROI is higher, bull market, stake when its ROI surpasses creating bear markets. All right. So Pulse X and Pulse distribution, these are probably key things, and we're going to run through these quickly here. Just wanted to get to the main mechanics page. So the distribution works as follows. PulseX will buy and burn 4.3% of PulseX is burnt, right? So PulseX buy and burn, this means 4.31% of PulseX is burnt. 4.31% of the Pulse buys and burns PulseX, all right? The Unity buy and burn, 84% of funds buy and burn Unity, reducing the Unity supply. The Unity buy and build, 8% enhances liquidity by actually pairing Unity with PulseX. And then the Genesis, 3.69% goes to a Genesis address. No further expectations, right? So that's the quick overview. I've been a participant in Torres, right, where I create my positions, and I'll come show you really quick. This was the first one I ever created, right? It is now day 35 of 88. The value, right, at the time I spent 0.0069 ETH. Its ETH value now is $31.26 I spent on Ethereum that I used, right? You could have used Ethereum or you could have used Titan X. Those are the options with Torres. Now I'm day 35 of 88, and I've created, because you create a certain amount up front, depending on the amount of power you choose and the length of time between 1 to 88 days. Every day that passes by, you earn from that pool. All right. That pool determines what you earn daily based off the shares. All right. So far, I've earned 127.3 Torres. This, in the sense of when we start to be able to look at the Dapp in Unity, this is going to be Unity that you would be earning, right? So what I've earned is worth $859 at this time, day 35 of 88. That's directly reflected by the price of Torres. Price of Torres is $6.75. We are creating tokens every day. More and more tokens come into circulation. More supply comes out every day. So as the price goes down, my position is still earning daily to combat the inflation and depreciation of the asset itself, Torres, to keep up with that. And the hopes is that day 88, not only will I be break even, but in profit by combating the inflation that continues to come out where people can sell and bring down the price. Okay. So when you're looking at that down the road here, right, and you've chosen to create Unity, it's going to look just like this. And let's say 35 days after launch, you'll say day 35 of 88. Okay. So that's how it'll look. And you're going to be able to see that. And it's going to be interesting because now we have this on Pulse, which, bringing a lot of PulseX. I believe it's going to bring a lot of eyes. The other option is staking. I have not purchased any Torres, right, to stake. The price has not been low enough yet for me to do that. The secondary option to earn from the Unity pool, just like your second option to earn from the Taurus pool, would be to buy it off the market and stake it. It has its own pool as well. So the primary supply, creations. Just showed you that on Taurus. Users generate Unity tokens up front by creating, guaranteed as principal at the end of the period, ensures value even if the Unity pool is diluted, boosting profitability. Second supply Unity pool is the fixed number of tokens are distributed daily to creators and stakers based on shares. It's all share based. The more shares, the more you earn from that pool. All right. So when you're creating, all right, we just showed you, this is a creation and what it's going to look like. Created plus earned daily. Gets every day that goes by, there's a timer. I see more tokens come into this created plus earned category. All right. So that's going to be 1 to 88 days. It's non-reversible. You'll pay to create with either PulseX or Pulse, right? Pulse cost based on PulseX's time-weighted average price. You're going to choose a power 1 through 1 million. That's going to determine the token output and cost, okay? Starting ratio, it's going to be 100,000 PulseX equals 1 Unity. Daily reduction to created tokens decrease by 0.08% daily. So it's going to get difficult by 0.08% daily to create. All right. I can show you an example of what that'll look like over on Taurus. I don't mind doing that. Let me show you real quick here. I'll go into the Dapp, right? And it's going to be laid out just like this, right? Over here on this side, you can either choose Titan X or ETH. Your options to create on Unity are going to be either Pulse or PulseX. Let's say you choose Pulse, which is ETH over here. Your cost base is going to be based off your power. I always do 88-day maxes, but let's say you just want to do 100 power. That's only $24 in ETH. You want to do 1,000 power, $246. You want to do the max, which is 1 million, right? It's going to cost, 54.5 ETH. But notice the shares, your total shares, which is most important, goes up drastically based off your power. All right. So 100 power gets you 75,178 shares. 10x that gets you 751,783 shares. And everything every day as far as what you earn on your creations is based off your shares. All right. So the cost, static PulseX cost, 100 power is fixed PulseX amount. Pulse costs rise with difficulty, and you can see the examples listed below. So the difficulty is going to be on a 5-year scale, 10-year, 20-year. After 5 years would be 331% cost increase, which is 4.31x the amount, and then so on. You can read about that. I'm going to put the link here so you can do your research. Staking is the same thing, except you're going to be able to take liquid Unity and stake it between 188 days. You pay a fee to create, like when you pay that fee, all right? When I pay that fee, this is the fee to create, right? This is the fee to create. You're paying in Ethereum. There's a fee when you create a stake that you would pay in Ether or Titan X, right? So the fees on Unity are going to be in terms, I show you that, of PulseX and Pulse. So you're paying the 5% fee. right? And those fees get distributed as we went over earlier under the Unity overview, okay? Remember, they go to the buy and burns, and ultimately it's going to be burning PulseX and adding liquidity. Just rewind back to the beginning where we talked about that, but I can cover it. But you're going to have the same breakdown here. All right. When you're staking, though, you're going to want to be very careful, because after 50% of the staking period, which is a minimum of 2 days, users can exit early if they want. You get the claim principal plus earn rewards, which is a percentage of your stake completed minus 50 times 2. That's your claimable earned tokens, right? So example, exit at 55%. That equals 10% of earned rewards, 75%. That equals 50% to 100% equals all rewards. So your penalty, 50% of unclaimed rewards are burnt, 50% are redistributed to the Unity pool. So you have to understand, the penalties for early end stakes as well as your option. Okay, earning, right? Earning rewards with Unity from the Unity pool based on their share system. See, there's a lot to this. The Unity pool, guys, right? You're gonna want to focus on the shares. So I say go back to my Taurus videos to talk about the shares. All right, talk about the shares. Every day there's that Unity pool and there's a timer, right? Within a 24-hour period. So it starts at 100,000 tokens a day from day one. It's going to be distributed to the people that have created and staked tokens, right? And their shares are going to determine how much they get out of this 100,000 tokens that starts off on day one. But every day that moves forward, that decreases by 0.08% daily. Higher ROI with lower participation, lower ROI with high participation. All right. Over 20 years, 125 million tokens are distributed. So you're going to see here on days, I'm going to use Taurus again with Unity. Just imagine Unity looks like this. These are going to be the colors. ROI is going to be high when there's days of low participation, right? Because not a lot of people are going in. You're not going to see the same result with low entry versus days, right, where there's a high amount of users going in, right? The higher of the higher ROI with lower with participation. So higher ROI with lower participation, lower ROI with higher participation. That means more users are playing the game. So for that day, it's going to represent different numbers as far as your ROI. You'll be able to see that all on the dashboard. Okay? Read all about it. Main thing here on PulseChain is people are going to want to know PulseX and Pulse distribution, which we talked about, but it's going to have different phases, right? This is more in detail. So this is how Unity actually allocates the incoming PulseX and Pulse across multiple mechanisms in 2 phases. So phase 1 is liquidity focused. So the buy and burn, 64%, right? Buys Pulse. Well, it buys PulseX with Pulse, then swaps PulseX for Unity, burns it. That could be triggered every 5 to 10 minutes. I'll show you what that'll look like. All right. Here you can see there's a pool here, buy Taurus with ETH, and there's a pool here that says buy Taurus with TINX. When it's on Unity, it's going to be, different assets, which are Pulse and PulseX. So that's going to have a trigger just like you can see here. You can trigger the rewards clicking the buy and burn on both sides. Now, that's going to be that part of it, right? This right here, the buy and burn, would be like the left side here. The buy and build, right? The left and right. You can see there's a buy and burn, buy and build. So everything's going to look identical. I was just, I'm telling you, the colors and the assets, That's why I'm going back so I can show you the visual. Okay. The buy and build, 28% buys Unity. All right. So 28% does 50% buys Unity. That gets a little confusing, right? The buy and build, which is 28%, 50% buys Unity, paired with 50% PulseX for liquidity. Same interval as the buy and burn. And they mean by this, you click here and you can see every callable every 10 minutes. Okay. Just picture, the Pulse asset, PulseChain assets, and not Titan X, not Ethereum. But the same thing just over on that on PulseChain's end. Then they have the Fractal, 20% of the buy and burn, stores funds, releasing them to buy and burn every 110 days. Phase 2 is going to be burn focused. So the buy and burn, 84%, same as phase 1, but higher allocation. Buy and burn, 8%, same as phase 1, but lower allocation. All right. Buy and burn versus buy and build. All right. So buy and burn is 84%, buy and build is 8%. PulseX buy and burn, 4.31% of PulseX is burnt, 4.31% of Pulse buys and burns PulseX immediately. So this is going to be a really cool mechanic for PulseChain. It's going to be exciting. I'm glad they built this on Pulse, right? Because they have it over there for the build on Titan X with Torres. But it's going to be interesting. All right. I want you guys to remember too, for staking, right? I have not staked personally over on Torres. I've only done creations. After creating / staking ends, you have 14 days to claim those tokens. So after 14 days, anything that's unclaimed, the tokens you've earned, not your principal, are penalized over 7 days. So 14.28% of earned tokens redistributed to the Unity pool daily. After 7 days, only your principal remains. So you cannot leave that hanging and being unclaimed after 14 days that your stake ends. That's important to know. So your penalties are the early end stake, which is 50% unclaimed rewards burnt, 50% redistributed to the Unity pool. Grace period penalties, 50% of penalized earned. Tokens burnt, 50% redistributed to Unity pool. And then you can check out the audits and the contracts. That will be all available. The show, their Twitter, Telegram, and website. All the disclaimers, you need to review that. But I recommend going and looking at my Taurus videos, right? So you can get familiar with what I've done, especially in the members only, $2.99 a month. Link in the description. Go look at the videos where I do entries. I have a ton of entries. You can even see here, this is my first one, but in the background you can see I make a Taurus creation daily, and I review that weekly with my members only category. So if you are fine-tuned with Taurus, it's going to be a real quick, easy adjustment to come here on PulseChain with the same strategy and ambition and understanding of what's going to happen. But ultimately, it's going to help PulseX, which is bullish. And I think everyone should be excited about that. So don't forget to pound the like button, guys. Drop a comment. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.